In the shadows of Pico's volcanic peak, and beneath the sweep of Atlantic breezes, we return to the stone-walled vineyards of the storied island for the second part of our journey into the world of Pico wine. This chapter unveils a pivotal moment, a testament to the indomitable spirit that has allowed Pico's centuries-old winemaking tradition to endure against all odds. When the vineyards of Pico were ravaged by the phylloxera plague, it seemed that generations of winemaking tradition would be lost to the wind. The once thriving landscape of black volcanic walls and green vines stood on the edge of silence. Yet, from this devastation, a new force emerged, not born of wealth or power, but of unity and determination. Amidst adversity, a collective of resilient winemakers rose to safeguard the island's legacy, and at the heart of this effort stood a single defining institution, the Pico Wine Cooperative. The cooperative became the island's heartbeat, uniting farmers, families, and generations who refused to let their heritage fade. Through collaboration and perseverance, they rebuilt what nature and markets had nearly erased. Today, the cooperative remains the cornerstone of Pico's identity. Ever evolving, it continues to blend tradition with innovation, embracing new technologies, perfecting ancestral techniques, and sharing Pico's distinctive wines with the world. From safeguarding rare indigenous grape varieties to preserving the island's cherished liquorous wine tradition, the cooperative stands as both guardian of the past and architect of the future. Join us as we explore this vital chapter in the story of Pico wine and uncover the enduring spirit of the Pico Wine Cooperative. Our journey into the heart of Pico's winemaking renaissance commences at the Pico Wine Cooperative. The company, founded in 1949, is the oldest and largest wine producer on the island. At a time when the very existence of Pico's winemaking tradition hung in the balance, the cooperative emerged as a beacon of hope. As vineyards faced abandonment and native grape varieties teetered on the brink of extinction, the company became the vital lifeline that preserved the essence of Pico's terroir. The cooperative, founded during a critical juncture in Pico's winemaking history, offered more than just a refuge. It became the conduit through which grape growers could unite, mutualize their costs, and receive fair compensation for their harvests. As families turned away from the vineyards, the cooperative stood as the steadfast outlet that allowed Pico's winemaking heritage to endure.
The cooperative is a gathering of agricultures or wine grape producers. So we are at the moment a gathering of 280 grape producers, and they all come together every year into the cooperative to bring their grapes. Their grapes are bought by the cooperative as an entity, and then our job is to produce the wine and obviously pay them for the grapes they are producing. For you to be our associate or for you to be part of the board of administration, you need to be a grape producer. So in a way, there's always someone that rules that also produces the grapes. And that's interesting because that gives you context. Obviously, you're not deciding over just based on your opinion. So there's always a connection between the production part of the land and obviously the vinification part here. We have 70 years in the living and in the making. We have been making wine since then. We were, and we still are, but we were in times the most important company because all the producers were our associates, right? There was no more production apart from the production that came into the cooperative. And that really made a part in history and into getting us to today. Because if there was no cooperative, I'd say 40, 50, 60 years ago, there would have been no strength into keeping the wine production into today.
So the cooperative played a very, very important role because they were founded in the late 40s, 20th century, so 1940s, and they played a very important role because people at that time started having a place where they could deliver their grapes, which is very important. So, and they brought this production to the 90s. So only in the 90s there were the first private companies. They really played a very important role to bring this production to this century.
Well, what we did is, it's a very honorable thing, in my opinion. Obviously, I wasn't here to know the history, but we really kept this going because this is very hard. People tend to want to give up on this, and they do it every time they can. It's a very hard place to be in a vineyard. Obviously, you are in the with everything, right? With the wind, with the rain, with the soil, with the sun. It's very hard, and it's obviously these vineyards specifically, they are very hard to work. We kept creating awesome wines. We kept the traditions alive. Our part in all of this was, in a moment in history, to be the beacon of well, let's go this way because this is something really worth keeping. And at the moment, we are basically the gatekeeper of history. We have lived 70 years and we are here so far because we had the people by our side, we had the capacity, the courage. It was hard. Obviously, when we look around, we know that it was hard, but we got to this point. All the other producers, they have something to add to this, and that's very important because we need adding up, right? We need to, we now started being known in the world, right? More and more people know about Pico wines, and it was not just because of the cooperative. We didn't do that work alone. We kept it going, but some other guy that came, some other producers, they helped us to do that. Only the collection of all our characteristics and of all our strong points, that's what is going to keep Pico wines alive.
The safekeeping of the old winemaking traditions on the island is not the only contribution the co-op made to Pico wine. Thanks to them, the island started discovering its potential, not only as a fortified and late harvest winemaker, but also as a dry white winemaker.
There's a tale that's supposed to be true about a meeting that happened in Pico. The meeting brought into the island a lot of winemakers and sommeliers and expertise tasters. The point of that meeting was to obviously do a tasting of all the wines produced in the Azores, all the whites, the liqueurs wines, to be able to find the best one. And so she said that in that same meeting, Pico Wines, the cooperative, sent some wines. And we sent our liqueurs wines, obviously the top line wines. And then we also sent a wine that it's still produced today differently from what it was, but it was a wine that was called Cavac, white wine. It was the blend of all the autochthone grape varieties that were unripe. And unripe, you need to think of being ripe or unripe to produce liquorose wine. So they were under 14 or something. Everything that was under 14 was just bunched together into like the entry-level wine in the cooperative. Everything else was used to make liquorose. Okay, so this was the mindset. In that same contest or meeting, the wine that won was exactly that wine. The wine that no one believed, no one really cares for it, the entry-level one or the least favorite wine of all, it just won. And from then on, and this was in the year 2000 or a little bit earlier, late 90s, and that's when the mindset changed, and that is exactly when the autochthone grape varieties began to be valued again into making white wines. And that's why nowadays you have the single grape variety wines, because people have developed from doing it a blend and just separating them. And that is really the changing point in wine production in Pico. When you change from thinking that you only had one high valued position, that was the liquor rosé, into having several wines in here.
To this day, the co-op continues to push for more innovation. They're doing some tests to age wine into former cognac barrels. They are studying the impact of aging wine underground in volcanic caves, with a large project in the Gruta de Azores next by, where they've stored hundreds of bottles there.
So yeah, the thing that we need to figure out in here is how to innovate, not only by ourselves but using partnerships to do so. We are in the midst of making a partnership with craft beer production company in Lisbon, Portugal, mainland. So they are very well known already, a craft beer company. They have great craft beers, and so they are in the midst of creating a project with wine companies, and especially with licorice wine companies, because obviously the licorice wine really sinks into the oak. And so they are going to produce craft beer inside our oak barrels, and that's going to be a wonderful lot. We are also testing some barrels, cognac barrels that have been used with cognac before. So there's a lot going on, and obviously we are still doing our own testings, right? For example, more lees, less lees, more time in oak, less time in oak. You either do, for example, you can do the malolactic fermentation, not do the malolactic fermentation, ripe grapes, unripe grapes, combining them, not combining them. So, for example, this year we are going to buy a sorting table for the cooperative. And so that's investments in innovation and in quality, because we do believe that innovation comes with quality, or quality comes with innovation, one of the two, but they work very close together. And we don't need the finest machinery to do the best wines, but we also need to be, we always need to be thinking forward into what those wines are and how we are going to get them. Sometimes it's by buying machinery, that's okay, but other times it's just by innovating in the process, innovating in the way you're doing things, innovating in the vineyard, the work you do in the vineyard, innovating, for example, in the grape varieties that you can find, for example, in the reds. We have at the moment Merlot and Syrah, but maybe new ones are coming in the future. So that's the way we need to look at this. Obviously, it's very hard living in an island. Sometimes innovation doesn't get here as quick as it gets to other places in the world. But we have such good natural products that if we can look at that and innovate in that, well, that's a perfect way to go.
From the ashes of crisis, the Pico Wine Cooperative rose as a symbol of unity and perseverance, the force that kept the island's vineyards alive when all seemed lost. In the face of devastation, it became more than a producer. It became a protector of identity. Through collective effort, perseverance, and vision, the cooperative revived the vineyards, restored livelihoods, and carried the island's winemaking spirit into the 21st century. Its work ensured that the flavors, methods, and memories rooted in Pico's volcanic soil would not disappear. Today, even the island's independent winemakers acknowledge that without the cooperative's endurance and innovation, there might be little left to build upon. It was this shared foundation that allowed a new generation of producers to reimagine Pico wine for the modern world. Yet, the cooperative story is only one part of a larger mosaic. In the island, another passionate guardian of tradition continued its own quest to preserve Pico's legacy, the Xar Winery. This producer was dedicated to keeping alive the craft of passado wine, a rare late-harvest wine unlike any other. In our next chapter, we will journey deeper into the mystery of this passado wine to uncover how this remarkable creation bridges centuries of history and survived to this day.